Okay, this is the second part to reading is fundamental. And even if I don't say it in this video, I'm going to put in the description links to sources and ways that you can get free digital copies of books, unless you can afford to buy hard copies of books. I had to eventually stop buying so many books because I had so many. But then, of course, my second approach to having access to books are libraries. I just believe in using libraries because that's what they're there for. And I grew up going to the bookmobile and going to the library. So I've always been a big reader. And it it's always been a thing in my life. So I've always read. I don't understand how people don't read. And I know that people read very little. They don't read enough. It's the only way you can attain knowledge is by reading. And I think that a lot of times people want books to be over quickly. They don't want to read a book that's 300, 400, 500 pages because it's just going to take too long. But the more you read, the better you get at it. And that's how you gain knowledge. So I'm not going to go through all of the books. I'll discuss a few, and I'll put all of the books in the links. But these are just the basic things, that will be instrumental in shaping your basic knowledge about some things. It's not going to totally explain everything, but I feel like what they should do is pique your interest. And reading has to survive. You have to read. It doesn't matter what they come up with in the high tech world, reading is the thing that's most important. So, of course, we have Alex Haley, Biography of Malcolm X, and Roots. Those are two basic books. And to that, I should add Jubilee by Margaret Walker. It's a historic novel on slavery. The ISIS Papers by Francis Cress Welsing. The book is theory, but it makes sense. Of course, the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass is a must read book. Blood at the Root is a book that helps to explain how and why Black people do not own vast parcels of land in the US. Books that cover Christian nationalism, Jesus and John Wayne, and White Too Long. And the reason why those books are important is because it shows how Christianity is used to keep Black people oppressed and how it perpetuates racism. There's a category of books called polemic. Polemic tales are books that are about a subject that's highly controversial in society. In this instance, it's slavery and the treatment of immigrants in the early 20th century. So, Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe and The Jungle by Upton Sinclair are the two polemic tales on the list. Next is Octavia Butler, who's a scientific writer. She's the first Black female science fiction writer to reach prominence. And my favorite book by her is The Parable of the Sower, which was written in 1993 but opens in the year 2024. The book is dark, it's dystopian, it's perilous, and it really makes you wonder about things. Lastly, there's the series of books by Donald Goins. He's considered an urban writer, but I consider him a writer of what life was really like in the ghetto, in the hood, with pimps, drugs, prostitution, you name it. Donald Goins wrote about it and not in a good way. Most of the times, his books ended badly. They ended sad. But yeah, he's definitely a person that's worth reading. Unfortunately, a lot of people want to equate Black life with just the things that he wrote about. And for a long time, I used to think that all the Black exploitation movies came from Donna Goldman's books. And we know that the stuff that he wrote about in his books was based in fact, like it was true. So, yeah, reading is fundamental and it always will be. How can you attain knowledge if you don't read? No matter what it is you have to do. If you have to sit at the computer and make a YouTube channel, you have to know how to read. That is undeniable. Okay, say what you will, say what you want, but I hope that you will read some of these books. And, in order to have a decent conversation about most things, you have to have read to some extent. So if you start off with these books, perhaps you can hold your own in a conversation. Thank you for joining me. Peace out.